Okay, this video is going to be on a very serious topic, something I went through about 10 years ago, and the day that I almost ended everything. This story starts in my early to mid 20s. I had fallen deep into alcoholism and got clean from alcohol and decided that, a big part of my rehabilitation is going to be getting a job and really for the first time in my life, taking it seriously. I went back to my old job that was very consistent, but I wasn't so consistent, and they took me back. So I was thankful for that. And I decided that time I was going to be the best employee at my store. It was a convenience store, and I loved the work. I loved the people. I enjoyed every aspect, from cleaning to stocking to dusting. I loved my job, and I was the best employee at my store. And I got raise after raise, and I was lifting myself up out of my past failures. And I would show up early every day. And I was, they had me closing the store every night because not only was I out of the store faster, which saved the money, but I did a better job. So anyway, one day I showed up early and I was in a walk-in cooler stocking sodas. And I had two totes, two big heavy totes of either 20 ounces or 32 ounces. But I was carrying them to put them in the fridge, and I heard a loud pop, and I initially didn't know what it was. I didn't know the human body could make a sound like that. It sounded like a cat gun. And so I figured I stepped on something or broke something, so I had fallen over, so I went to pick myself up, and I couldn't stand. And I literally had to crawl out to the front. Needless to say, I couldn't make my shift. I found out much later on because the first doctor misdiagnosed me. He said it was just a meniscus tear, but I had that along with tears in my ACLs, pretty much every piece of tissue in my knee. And the first surgery did more to exacerbate that than anything. And I had to go in for a second surgery to fix the first surgery. And when we were looking at the possibility of a third surgery, that's when the doctor told me that there was nothing we could do, that I was going to have mobility issues, pain, and I would not be able to work the way that I've been used to for the rest of my life. And I used to always say back in the day, I don't need any other skills because as long as I can push a broom, I'm going to work. I didn't know that I would literally come to a day I couldn't push a broom. So I fell into a deep depression. Um, I wore jogging pants and pajama pants all day. Didn't leave the house, didn't crack open the window shade until the day I decided to finally end everything. My plan was to go sit in my shower so I wouldn't leave a mess. I'm not going to share the rest of the details of my plan, but I was checking out that day, and a friend of mine just happened by, a musician friend, and for some reason he wouldn't leave. And I put on a smile. I said, yeah, I'm going to be okay. And I was trying to get him to leave. I was trying to convince him I had something to do. And I needed him to leave, but he wouldn't leave. He's like, well, I'll tell you what. He told me to grab up my guitar, get dressed. We were going to go hang out at his house, play some music. And that pissed me off to no end because I was through with this life. But I went with them. And what that did was to put two things that pushed a pause. It made me think about my decision. And it showed me that, crippled or not, I meant something to somebody. And the funny thing is I always thought he knew where my head was. Because why else did we have to go play guitars at his house that day? That never made sense to me. But I reminded him, I thought I was reminding him of this story, but he had no idea. Just that day, we just had to go to his house and play guitars. He didn't know where my head was. And so, yeah. And that same friend eventually pushed me into therapy. Let's just say, I'll say that he got to a point to where it was like I had to go to therapy just to get this dude off my back. And through that therapy, I discovered medications, my antidepressants that, along with therapy to this day, help me sleep, get me going. I have discovered, new activities because despite my size, I was always a very active person. Well, in the weightlifting, walking, my favorite thing in the world was riding my bike. I would ride my bike absolutely everywhere, anywhere. I would hop on a bike and just go. Just cruise around for no reason. And so, okay, I couldn't do that no more. I tried riding a bike. It was kind of funny. You look at it because I kept falling over to one side because I couldn't get this leg moving. So, I became a movie buff. And I got more into watching professional wrestling. I got into collecting professional wrestling action figures. And then one night, when I was out and about looking at action figures, I stumbled across a comic book store. Now, I'm a comic reader and collector. And I dug deeper into music. Music became more than a hobby. I really started expanding my understanding of music and what I could do, and became a lot better musician through my injuries. Most importantly, I developed mechanisms and things that help me get through each day. I got to a point to where, a couple years ago when I had COVID, a lot of you may know I do my own home workouts. I have my dumbbells and my bench and stuff. That came about because I was watching a bunch of wrestling YouTube channels, and there's this dude named Simon Miller, who is possibly one of the most positive people in the world. And he was always talking about weightlifting and weight training on his own YouTube channel. I got through to another YouTube channel, and about how it's positive, and and how you could weightlift for your own goals and your own purposes, and how there's no one look or one way to do things. And I watched those videos over and over again when I had COVID, and it got to the point that it was like, why am I not lifting weights? Why am I not doing this? Even with music, I started really learning more about piano. And I picked up melodica and ukulele. I don't even know how to play recorder. I started recording at home. Does chronic pain never get easy? Hell no. But life is worth living. And you may have to look harder for those reasons to keep moving, but they're there. And you mean the world to somebody. Anyway, it's getting almost that 10-minute mark. And I get bored of my own talking anyway. So I hope you guys have a blessed one. I've been doing this since 2009. We got this.